Side note, I know this isn't particularly spooky, but like it's kind of like I plan to use it for a photo shoot because it's kind of costume-ish. But also this is just fabulous. Hey guys, it's Toxik Fox. Welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while. Just kind of lost a lot of motivation to work on things, but we're back today. For anybody that sews and hates how expensive patterns can be, if you did not know, if you go onto the Mood Fabrics website, they have a whole selection of free patterns that you can download and print out. So that's what we're making today, is one of those. So I have the pattern here. This is the pattern MDF024, which is the Mood Hibiscus Robe pattern, aka the Widow Robe, or the My Husband Has Died in Mysterious Circumstances robe. Yeah, so that is what we're making today. We are making it out of this really cute pink kawaii chiffon material, and it has these flocked hearts all over it, which is super cute and adorable. And then of course you're going to need thread and pins and scissors and whatnot. Excuse me, sir. It's fine. Anyway, you are also going to need 7 of these marabou feather boas. They are roughly 2 yards a piece. Yes, it takes 7. It takes 14 yards of marabou feather boa to complete this project. And now I've dropped my pattern. Alright, we're gonna flip it around so I can show you the pattern. Hey Nico. This is my helper Nico. He's adorable. So this is the first 2 sheets of the pattern. Whatever. Yeah, so this is what they'll look like. What they ask you to do is to print out the first page only, and then this square is supposed to measure 2 by 2 inches. If this square does not measure 2 by 2 inches, you're going to have to kind of size up or down the pattern itself during your printing method. And then this is 77 pages that this prints out. So if you look here, these are the different pattern pieces. We have 7 pattern pieces total. And if you look closely, you'll see there's little grids on here. Each one of these squares represents one of your printed pieces of paper. So you're going to tape them all together, and then you're going to cut out your pattern pieces in whatever size you're working with. And you end up with something that looks like this. So this here is the lower sleeve portion, and it'll have everything. Again, it'll have the 2-inch square just to make sure everything is correctly sized, the information which pattern it is, the pattern piece, as well as what you are to cut. So this one is to cut 2 of the main fabric. And then if you come down here, just like any pattern, it does tell you that you are to cut this on the fold, so the fold goes along this edge. Now, my fabric is only 45 inches wide, so I'm cutting 4 of these, which I will then stitch together, which means I've had to add a seam allowance here. That's fine. That's whatever. And I believe I went with the size 8, which is what I am working on for this project. So I've actually already cut out all of my pieces. I just have to cut out 2 more of this with my added seam allowance, and then I will have all the pieces cut out. So we'll start sewing them together after that. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be a really cute project, and I think it's just going to be like the most extra robe I own. Because I've noticed I am kind of collecting robes now. I think I'm up to 5. This will make robe 6. I might have a robe problem. But yeah, so I'm gonna go cut out those last 2 pieces because I ran out of fabric when I was cutting my pieces and needed to buy more, which is ridiculous because I finished a bolt of this fabric. But I got 4 more yards, so I've got enough to do the 2 pieces that I need to cut. And I have enough to make something extra, maybe something to go with it, something to go under it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest, but it's really cute and I like it. So I'm going to cut those out and then we will move over to the sewing room. Okay, we are in the sewing room and the first step is going to be to stitch together the pieces that were supposed to be cut on the fold, but my fabric wasn't wide enough to do it, so I cut them twice with an added seam allowance. So we're gonna stitch down that seam allowance to make them the one piece that they were supposed to be. So that is going to be the sleeve pieces and then a chunk of the skirt. I think it's the side skirt panels, but yeah, so I have 4 of those that I need to turn into 2 and 4 sleeve pieces that I need to turn into 2 pieces. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do a French seam because I don't want any raw edges, and honestly I don't want to dig my serger out from up there, so, and it's just for me anyway, so we're gonna do some French seams. Plus I think they look really nice with chiffons, so let's do that. Also, don't ask me about the headset. I'm also currently watching / listening to Kitchen Nightmares in the other room. So for the French seam, we are just stitching the seam wrong sides together, and then we will flip it to stitch it right side together to kind of trap that seam within the real seam. So I'll show you what that looks like after I do this section. So now this is the right side, the outside, and we have a nice clean seam, and then when you look at it on the inside, you still have a really nice clean seam because everything is contained. So French seams all the way around. I'm going to do the rest of my pieces, the other sleeve, and then the 2 skirt pieces, and then so we have the back of the top half of the robe, and then the first side front piece. Again, wrong sides together, and we are just gathering the front piece so that it matches up the back for the shoulder seam, and then we're going to stitch those on. And then we are going to stitch the side seams together, and I'll repeat with the other side. And this is where we are at right now, each of the side pieces, because of course it is a robe, so it wraps or it falls really nicely. And then the back, as you can see, once I iron it, it'll look really, really cute. It might steam it instead. But yeah, the seams are nice and contained. So now we're going to start on the skirt. I got to read some instructions. So this is easier to show you on the small image. So I'm going to sew the back piece to the back sides. So this line here is actually going to stitch here to each of these 2 back sides, and then we are going to stitch the front sides to the back sides to create the skirt. So I'm going to do all of that, and then I will come back and show you, but I also need to add the sleeves onto the vest that I've got done. And I did make some changes to how they tell you to do it, so I'll show you that when I'm done. So the skirt is all put together, which I'm going to have to stitch to the actual top, and then I will add the sleeves. But first I'm going to do the rolled hem around the bottom because that's going to take forever. So here we have the base of the robe. It is complete. Looks a little wonky on the mannequin because of my petticoat there. But yeah, I'm going to have to make myself a tie. These sleeves are all attached, and now I just get to sew feather boas all around the bottom and the sleeves. That's going to be hand stitching. I'm in for a few hours of hating my life while I hand stitch the marabou feather boas onto this robe, but then it'll be done, and I feel like it's going to be super cute, and I'm already really happy with it. One main change that I did make here is that I gathered this area here. I gathered the front to fit the back piece, because in the actual pattern, it calls for you to have this folded over to create a facing, but because it's the chiffon, I didn't want to fold it over because then I'd really see it. So I'm just rolled it and have gathered it up front, which is cool because it makes it reach around really nice and it still looks really cute. We'll see where I get with the feather boas. I might buy more so that I can put feather boas up the front as well. And we're done. That's how I made my beautiful widow robe. The sleeves are so squishy. This is what the full thing looks like. I did really enjoy making this. I love how it turned out. I cannot wait to find the remaining pieces I need, because I have this image of what I want a photo shoot in it to look like, so I have to pick up a couple things. But I'm so excited about this robe, and hey, yeah, if you have ever thought about having one of these robes, go find yourself one or make one, because it's amazing and I feel fabulous in it. Okay, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.